they had no choice but to expand car park. Like the police arrived and said, oh, your playground is so large. According to this legal article in the book of law, your playground has to be no larger than this size by this size. We know maps are a little bit difficult for many candidates. It's not that difficult really, but maybe just, the picture of a map seems a little, I don't know, scary. Don't worry, we've got you covered. Welcome to IELTS Juice. We have a map to go through, task 1 for the academic module, and the rubric says, the diagrams, plural, below show the changes that have taken place at West Park Secondary School since its construction in 1950. And the second line is always a fixed phrase. We summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features, and we need to make comparisons where relevant. Let's look at the maps. So there are three, diagrams. There are three plans. And since 1950 means, yes, we have 1950. This is our first map. 1980 is our second map. And 2010 is our third map. So this is how we go. And as I can see, we have the main road, which is the constant element in all three. So this is going to be kind of a landmark for us. I don't have any other legends. I don't know where the north in this map is. By default, if you don't have a symbol telling you where the north is, you can assume that the top of the page is north. If that helps, you will not be penalized. It's not going to be considered extra information or off topic. So if that helps you, instead of saying words like it's on the right hand side, on the left hand side, on top or below, which might sound a little, not real, because, for example, the main road is not on top of the school. It's not like there's a road on the roof of the school. So you can use north, south, west, east, and that makes complete logic, and it's okay. Now I'm going to take a look at the elements inside other than the main road. We had 1950. All the elements, by the way, are in past. We do not have any information about the place in between. And we only have 1950, 1980, and 2010. So all of them are in the past. So we use past simple tense. The houses, there was a farmland and a large playground and a school. And what happened is that, the houses were demolished and turned into a car park and a science block. That's interesting. And which is very close to the school, and the school has the main building. So yeah, the main building remained, but there was a science block added to the school, and that's why they have the same color. At IELTS, you will not see colors. It's rather monochromic, so it has only one color, or maximum maybe two basic colors. That's all. The farmland was turned into a sports field, and the playground was intact. And in the third one, the science block and the school main building remained intact. Car park was extended to cover the whole area. The sports field is now shifted a bit into the playground, and the playground is now not as large as it used to be. Or not now, was not as large as it had been in previous years. Anyway, with that in mind, let's get into the actual report. Well, that's it. So I took the liberty of putting the image just right next to us. So anytime we want to check, the information is right over there and you can check it with me. So this is the entire report. The given diagrams, correct, illustrate, not illustrates, some alterations in construction of a secondary school at West Park between 1950 and 2010. Overall, science block, yeah, if we look at it as a name, I'm not very comfortable with it. I prefer maybe we could go ahead and introduce the science block for the secondary school, but we just simply call it. Okay. Science block cannot be seen in 1950, all right? However, I need a semicolon here. In 1980 and 30 years later, in 1980 and 30 years later, in 2010, the block is easily noticeable. Okay, noticeable is a good word, spelled correctly. It's one of words that many candidates type or spell incorrectly. This is spelled correctly. Okay, all right. Why is it significant? Science block is not visible in 1950, but is visible in 1980 and 2010. Let's see. I'm not going to judge very soon, but I'm not feeling very confident about the report and this being the overall as a significant point. According to the graph, okay, graph, not a very good choice of word. Houses, I wish we just simply started, maybe instead of this topic sentence, I'm sorry, instead of this overall, we could go ahead and introduce the elements. Like, there are at least 4 important elements south the main road in the 3 maps given, or in the 3 different layouts in the 3 years given. And they are houses, there's a school, there's a playground, and a farmland. And we could go ahead and talk about the changes for these elements later on. But we kind of need to introduce the elements to the reader, right? According to the graph, houses, so that I do not, I shouldn't be introduced to houses in a body paragraph. I should know what elements to expect. Houses have been wrong grammar. Present perfect has nothing to do in this particular task 1 report. We cannot use present perfect because the years are clear and it has nothing to do with the present. So we don't know what happened after 2010. We don't know. We don't have that information. We cannot use present perfect here. So has been omitted in 1980. How you don't omit houses? It's weird. You don't omit. It's not a game, or it's not your computer that you can delete, cut, and paste. You basically destroy buildings. You demolish buildings, and maybe you relocate the. I mean the elements. Those type of words are needed. In 1980, yes, the houses were demolished in 1980, and it is, no, past simple tense, it was devoted to car park, to a car park. Devote is a good word, which was not available in 1950, all right? It is noteworthy that in 2010, I need a comma here, the car park was more spacious due in part to limitations of sports field and playground. Was more spacious due to limitations? How do you know? There were limitations of sports field and playground. Maybe the writer wanted to say was more spacious thanks to limiting the areas for sports field and the playground. Like the playground and sports field gave away some of their spaces available to them, or some of the space available to both of them, to car park. That makes sense, but not this. This means there were some limitations, like, I don't know, there were some rules or laws to limit the sports field. That's why they had no choice but to expand car park. Like the police arrived and said, oh, your playground is so large. According to this legal article in the book of law, your playground has to be no larger than this size by this size, or this many meters by this many meters. So you had no choice but to shrink playground and sports field and create car park. That is not what happened. We don't know. Even if it was exactly what happened, we don't know. We cannot write it here. This is factual mistake. In 1950, there is a farmland. There was a farmland, which was about 25% of the map. Okay, the map given to us, not the entire map of the city. And instead of and it changed, you could say which changed to a sports field after 30 years. Yes, from 1950 to 1980. And in 2010, I need one comma before and one comma after 2010, the size changed to half. Not exactly half. You could say approximately, or the size halved approximately. Like it went through a dramatic change in size that could only maintain less than half of it. Something like that. So we so far covered the house and the farmland and the car park. We are almost done. And I don't know what happens to playground and the school, most importantly. Size and location of the main building, which is the school's main building, remained fairly stable on the right side of the map. That's what I was talking about at the beginning. It's better to say not on the right side of the map. That is correct, but you could still say on the northeastern part of the map, and does not meet any changes during the mentioned years. Did not go through any changes during the years mentioned. Oh my God. And it's already 141 words. That is not a very good report. Let's go back to our original view. So let's look at this is already under length, by the way. It has to be 150 words and it's not. So yeah, I'm not surprised. When we do not write 150 words, don't expect any scores higher than this for your lexical resource and grammatical range and accuracy. Grammar was indeed misleading multiple times. Present simple, present perfect, which are completely misleading. We only needed past simple tense. I wasn't impressed by the range of vocabulary either. I saw multiple errors. You saw multiple punctuation errors for grammar, and vocabulary choices were not the best. As for the logic, I didn't find the logic to report. How did we go from 1 year to another? How did we move around? We could start by, we should have mentioned the main road. We didn't mention it. That could have been a very good landmark for us. And we could say, okay, I'm going to start from this, and then I'm going to, I don't know, talk about the school's main building, and from northwest, then we go down to southwest and south, and then southeast. So we go counterclockwise, and we talk about all this, the events that took place around the main buildings of that secondary school. But I didn't see that logic. It wasn't explained to me. The connections, again, not accurate in some cases, and faulty. Paragraphing was not very logical. We also had this issue that I had to say it is factually mistaken. It is wrong. This doesn't fall under the same category. Now, you might say, okay, this is 5. How can we improve it? Truth be told, it can be improved to 7. And it is not that difficult. We just need to organize it. Now, if you wish to see the improved version of this topic, click on the description below. You will see a link that will lead you to a dedicated page of the same assessment. You will have access to this video and more information about the assessment. And down below, you will have access to the improved version of the same topic. If you wish to see more assessments on essays or reports, click over here, and don't forget to subscribe. On that note, I hope I'll be assessing your report or essay next time. Take care.